rise to the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence to let everyone know there was an attack in Munich today, so let's think of all the people of Germany today also. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have a motion to read here, then I'm going to need a second on it. Whereas the town of Seneca Falls has been threatened with litigation if they adopt a local law that has been proposed. Whereas Public Officers Law Section 105D provides for the conduct of an executive session for discussions regarding proposed, pending, or current litigation. Whereas Public Officers Law Section 108(3) provides for an exemption from the Open Meetings Law for any matter made confidential by federal or state law. Whereas Civil Practice Law and Rules Section 4503(1) provides for privileged, confidential communications between an attorney and their clients. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Seneca Falls moves to conduct a portion of this meeting in executive session pursuant to Public Officers Law Section 105D to discuss matters relating to litigation proposed by Seneca Meadows Landfill. And be it further resolved that all such communications are privileged and confidential, as these discussions involve a work session with legal counsel and are exempt from the Open Meetings Law pursuant to Public Officers Law Section 108(3) and Civil Practice Law and Rules Section 4503(1). There's a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion.
I have discussion. I think the mics are on. I can talk loud. So we are going into executive session to discuss possible litigation. So what is the possible litigation? Is it due to the local law that we are?
That was the
Okay,
response
so
that you heard from the second attorney to the podium. So this law.
Turn it up.
I hear you. It's on.
Turn it up, microphone. Repeat, please.
Either way.
We'll wait, we'll wait. Now is it on?
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so after some of the meetings, after the local law was proposed, the attorney, Mr. Turner from Seneca Meadows, came to the podium and said, if this local law is passed, Seneca Meadows will sue you.
Okay, I agree with that. However, when we go into executive session the past 2 or 3 times, we have not been discussing the local law. We have been discussing a new host agreement with the landfill, and that is not what they are proposing to sue us about. So I am very uncomfortable being behind closed doors, not letting the public know what we are doing, and coming up with a new host agreement without input, when the landfill has input with us behind closed doors. My moral compass cannot allow me to lie to the public and tell them we are going into executive session to discuss possible litigation, and we do not discuss possible litigation.
Well, if I could respond to that, the amending the current host community agreement is the negotiation to possibly avoid litigation. That's what the purpose of amending the host community agreement is, for one. For two, these executive sessions are the town board alone and, and legal counsel. Seneca Meadows is not a part of these executive sessions. And otherwise, right now, we're looking at amending the proposed host community agreement. Procedurally, we're not really close to it being done. Right now, what the town board is doing is really getting the town's position in place, something that the 5 of you can go forward with, and presenting that back to Seneca Meadows. I mean, that's the procedurally where we are.
But I think what we're doing, and I will play devil's advocate here, I think we're breeding fear. People fear the unknown, and if we're not telling people on either side what's going on, then they will be fearful of what's going on. This is their community, this is our town, this is our future, and I think we need to be upfront and open with people. So instead of saying we're going in for legal, can we say we're going in to discuss the host agreement?
Well, that's why we're discussing a host agreement now.
Okay.
Well, it's part of resolving, proposed litigation. We had a gentleman stand right there, said if this goes forward, we will sue you. And then, actually, it was proposed by Seneca Meadows, maybe we could amend this host community agreement, address the community's concerns, and do it without being in a courtroom. Okay, but also at the same time, if the town is in a position to obtain what the town board thinks is important after hearing numerous hours of public comment from the community telling the board what they feel is important, if we're able to achieve that without involving a judge, without involving litigation that could take a long time and a lot of expense, why wouldn't the town want to fully explore that rather than heading off to court? That would not be responsible.
Okay, and then my question too would be, if a new host agreement is made and we do nothing with the local law, which is what I am hearing the Seneca Meadows wants us to not even pass a local law. So if we make a new host agreement, we don't do anything with the local law, who is to say that the next board can go in and revamp that host agreement and extend the landfill's life for another 10 years?
Exactly.
Well, that same would be true if you did pass a local law.
But can a local law be rescinded by a board?
Of course.
Where's our protection?
It's one more step. Doesn't it require a public hearing?
Hold on. I don't know where to go with that, but of course.
We're not entertaining questions from the audience today.
Let me just, if I could just.
are!
That's why, I guess. But to address your comment, yeah, any board, any local law can be undone by another local law. That's life. That's the law. That's the way it's set up. Would it be another step? Yeah, of course it would be. Another step that required public hearings and whatnot in order to pass any local law. And as I said, right now, we're in the process of negotiating a resolution to propose litigation that involves amending the host community agreement. It may involve a local law, maybe not the one that was proposed, but maybe something similar. But it's not at the point right now where we can say, hey, we have a new agreement. We're trying to negotiate something out, and that's difficult to do in a situation like this.
Negotiate with the public.
Exactly.
No, you're not
that's what I'm saying. That's very difficult to do. What we're trying to do really right now is get the board to establish a position to move forward from there. But this is not, the board establishing a position is not creating a new host community agreement. There's two sides to any agreement, and we're still playing on one side of the table here, trying to put together a proposal to, I'd like to think, can resolve this whole matter.
and we'll make that public before anything gets signed by either.
Well, that's, you know,
Yes.
all of these are policy decisions, but that's certainly, I mean, there'll be a public process involved with entering into that agreement, yes.
So we will make the public, known before anything happens. with what's
Before
gonna happen.
before any agreement is, becomes finalized, certainly. But we're just not there yet.
A couple of the outbursts in the audience that I heard, that we never entertain questions and we should negotiate with the public. Now, maybe I'm naive, but I believe what people tell me. I've had 2 forums. We've had 2 forums so far this year. I've had many board meetings that I allow people a very liberal time to speak, and I've allowed time to hear them. That is an analogy to negotiating with the public. I hear from all people, we hear from all people. And then when it comes down to what we do and how we proceed, we have to have time to have an executive session, talk to our legal counsel, and make a decision. And we listen to all of you. I'm speaking for myself right now, but I listen to everyone that I heard at these microphones the past 7 months, the past 2 forums, the many meetings we have, the many people who call me up and talk to me on the phone on one side of the issue or the other. And now I have this, what seems to me, an angry crowd because we go into an executive session with our counsel to try and decide what is best for our community after we've listened for 7 months. Been very liberal in listening for 7 months. Believe me, I don't understand some of the comments I hear today, and perhaps I'm very naive about that, but I do not understand the comments I'm hearing today. And I'm a bit angry today, because I think we have involved the community. I've lost friendships over this, and that hurts me. But I believe that we are all listening to you. And one person got up at the last forum and said he was concerned, and I'm paraphrasing now, but he was concerned because he heard one side calling the other side liars and the other side calling the one side liars. I do not believe that anyone is lying to me. We are not entertaining questions today because I think we've entertained enough people, enough petitioners over the last 7 months that we have to retreat into executive session with our attorneys so we can be advised as to how to proceed and what's the best possible way to proceed. When we make a decision, we will come out in the public and discuss that decision and take comments from that decision. But I don't know how much longer we can go before we as a board make a decision.
I can also add, I'd also like to add, hold on, we'll comment. I also like to add, we've all been getting all your emails, and I've been reading all these emails from everybody. I probably got 75 in the last 3 days. I read every one of them, answered back to a couple of people. Can't get back to all of them. I know Annette has had a big lengthy emails back to you people. Also, that's another thing. We're getting your emails on both sides to listen to about this too. We're very concerned about this. looking out for people of Seneca Falls right now. I mean, we have comments for the landfill on these emails. We got comments against the landfill. And the same thing that we had at the forums. Myself, I keep saying, well, I'm getting to repeat it because I'm hearing the same thing again that we heard at the forum, or I got an email, but we do have them. And I'm glad that people are sending the emails, and we do read them to get your concerns.
Is there any more discussion? Seeing none, I move to go into executive session as proposed by the resolution I just read. So we're going to take a vote to go into executive session. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
No.
No.
Okay, it's the supervisor's discretion. We only had one thing on the agenda to talk about. This meeting is adjourned. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, all opposed. Meeting adjourned. And you, sir, give me a call. Don't come here. You weren't even hired. Lazaro, you're fired. I received 82% of the votes, sir.
That's the First Amendment. You know what that is? Freedom of speech.
Yes, I do.
All right, then. I rest my case.